Good morning, Latah County. I'm Gina Terusio.
I'm Alicia.
And we are the Partnership for Economic Prosperity, and we're bringing you Latah 411. This is our podcast, and we love it because it gives us a chance to really introduce you and show you a few of the beautiful gems in our county. Today, you guys, we are with Bryan and Heather of Hyperspud Sports in Moscow. Yay! Welcome, you guys.
Hi.
You know, this Zoom thing is only so great, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are thrilled to be with you today. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for inviting us. This is really exciting for us.
It is for us too, and I'm loving your free beer tomorrow sign behind your head. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
always
really
in the
awesome.
background.
I think I should
We
shop.
kind of talked a lot of old stuff up here, but we love the tradition of this place.
Yeah, that, and I want to talk about the handprints before we get done today for sure. But before we go any further, I want you to introduce yourselves. Tell us about you and how you got to Hyperspud and all of that good stuff, please.
So my name's Heather, and this is my husband, Bryan, and I'm the full-time person here. You'll most likely see my smiling face Tuesday through Friday. And he's usually here with me on Saturdays and occasionally late in the day on certain days. So he works full-time at Schweitzer and then part-time at Hyperspud, and I'm full-time here. So we're both originally from the East Coast. We're from upstate New York. We moved out here 15 years ago to go to college, and just we had traveled out west a bit, and we just kind of loved the West and wanted to get out here and experience it. So we came out here to college and then just kind of stayed afterwards for the most part. We've worked various jobs in the community. I did work 6.5 years at Pullman Building Supply, Moscow and Pullman Building Supply, and different natural resource jobs as well. And this place came up for sale last February. We heard about it, and it definitely took a lot of soul searching, a lot of thought, especially during COVID, because Hyperspud had to be closed, I think, in March and April. And we officially bought it in June and opened the doors June 16th.
Wow.
I tell you what, it takes a brave soul. It takes a brave soul to be an entrepreneur to start with, but then entrepreneur and COVID. Oh, and I'm just going to say it. You two don't look like you've got 15 years of history. You're way too young for that. But I'm glad you came. Because Hyperspud will have a new exciting energy that'll be very good. And I think might be one of the best spots in Moscow as far as locations for a business.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. Location. Yeah, we can't be a better location than this.
So Hyperspud. So I got to Moscow in May. So it was May 18th of 1994. Hyperspud was an institution at that point. And see behind you maybe some history or some handprints, or do you know the story about that? What's the?
We know it's early employees. We know John Kroc, the founder's handprint, is up in the corner.
Yeah,
pretty big handprint to fill.
Yeah, he's a big guy. But yeah, it's just original employees. We might have to add our handprints to it. I'm not sure.
I was just thinking.
But we're definitely going to keep it up there. We love the history and tradition of this place. Coming up next month, it'll be 32 years. It started in 1989.
Wow.
A couple years we're in John Kroc's trailer mobile home, and then it moved out here a few years later, and then he owned it for 25 years, and then we did shop here when he owned it, and knew him a little bit, not super well, unfortunately, but he was an incredible man.
He really was. He was a little hard to get to know. So know that you weren't. I mean, I was the same way, and I'm like, I don't have any problem asking anybody anything, and it was hard to get to know John. He was just a kind of a closed. But that store was had a trademark messiness, like Book People back in the
Yeah.
day. You remember that?
Yeah.
Where you go in,
Yeah.
you could find treasures.
You do remember Book People. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Book People's much different nowadays than it used to be.
Yeah.
And we do it this place too. Yeah. So our goal is definitely to have it a little more organized.
What is your vision for the store?
Yeah.
So kind of just run it the same as it's been run for 32 years. Obviously something's going right. And just kind of just provide the gear that people are looking for. So this year that'd be skis if we could get them from the supply chain, snowshoes if we could get more of them from the supply chain.
Yeah.
And kind of the things that people are looking for to get out and have a good time.
People are definitely going outdoors nationwide more than they ever have before. If you go to any parts in the country, there's definitely more people out there, more people are buying gear, and it's a big way to social distance. We're all getting cabin fever, especially in the winter. And so a lot of people have been renting and buying cross-country skis and snowshoes this winter. And a lot of people have been backpacking for the first time this past summer. So we just enjoy helping people get geared up to enjoy time outdoors.
So you have rentals also?
Yeah, we have cross-country ski and snowshoe rentals.
Oh, wow.
Snowshoeing is one of those secret little things I didn't know anything about till about 5 years ago, and that is so much fun. It is so, like,
Yeah,
I
and
would
it's
have my own.
Really accessible too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know something?
At this point,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say at this point with COVID, obviously you can't do a ton of stuff with people, but we hope in the future to kind of just get more involved with the community. And we haven't developed this idea completely, but maybe have classes or trips that would kind of be organized or at least meet here.
Yeah.
But like I said, we haven't organized that all completely and have to wait till post-COVID.
Get a
But that's the
notebook.
future plan.
Yeah. Get a
I
notebook
think a
and
lot of
start
people
writing.
would come on a trip.
Yes, yes. I think you hit on it, Heather. And Alicia and I have talked about this a little bit too. So it isn't well, it's a common thought process of being out, being together, but being in a smaller group and doing things. It's more experience based now. And I'm hoping if that's the one lesson we learned from COVID is that it's way less about things and more about experiences. And that really is a niche that we don't have filled here. So, wow, good thinking. Write them down. Write these ideas down. So,
Yeah.
Hyperspud, when I've been in there, it has everything from headlamps and water bottles and just skis and all kinds of stuff. What is something that you see you need? What, it's such a broad variety. Is there something that you would like to bring in?
That's a good question.
I guess maybe a bigger variety of skis next year. So, we've had trouble kind of getting in skis at all this year.
And snowshoes.
And snowshoes. Yeah. So next year it'd be nice to kind of broaden that base, maybe get some wider skis, maybe get, some more backcountry oriented skis, just to provide a better selection there for different folks. Because this year it's kind of been, what we can get is what you can buy, as opposed to, we've got this one and this one and this one. What are you looking to do with it?
Right. That's hard as a new business owner to not have the supply to give to people. Like,
Yeah.
I want to sell you things, but I can't get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to learn, everything we know about buying next year when things are available.
Wow.
Well, you know how it is. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I try to buy off season too. So maybe there's an advantage in that if you're buying skis in June or July, maybe it's a better deal. I don't know. This year is or the last year has been so atypical with COVID. Is it a matter of everybody else is buying the skis, or is it that production chain? What's the everybody's buying?
So for skis, everybody buying. For snowshoes, the production chain. So there were some slowdowns on getting the crampons for snowshoes, and so our orders have kind of progressively pushed out. which makes it, hard to know when we'll get them, which in turn makes the customer not know when we'll get them. So it's, it's not fun for us and it's not fun for them.
No.
It's kind of something you just have to deal with.
I think we're all pretty used to the concept of shipments being delayed these days. Anyway, I mean, even Amazon can't get things out when they need to get it out. So, what possessed you after Moscow Building Supply, which I'm a huge fan, and that plant section nowadays has just exploded. It is awesome. But what possessed you to enter into owning a business? I mean, let's stand on that cliff for a minute and go, okay, that's huge. What possessed you?
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a big jump. I, like I said, worked in retail for 6.5 years. So that was a really good experience. And I really did enjoy my time there. And I can't say enough of my employees there. And they really did help me prepare me for my future here. It was definitely more like his dream than my dream, even though I'm working here full time and he's not. But I don't know. We love the outdoors. I mean, we've always been really active our entire lives: camping, hunting, fishing, canoeing, cross-country skiing. We kind of do all of that stuff quite often through our lives. And we just thought it'd be a lot more fun, supplying people gear, and basically a lot of my time I spend talking to people, hearing about their trips, and I just get jealous because I have 1 or 2 days off a week. And all these retired folks have weeks off. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely, we had a lot of sleepless nights thinking about it. And I, talked to a lot of friends and family trying to make the right decision. Because it definitely took, months at a time, and it's a big mental, physical, financial, everything commitment in our lives. So we had to be all in or not in at all.
And I think part of it is just kind of the chance to do our own thing and see if it works or see if it doesn't, to learn from our mistakes and, make changes and improve over time on what we're doing. So kind of more of a responsibility and risks kind of factor there.
And the fact that we get to be our own boss and that we can help the community, interact with the community, that's a big motivating factor too.
That is huge. So for a company like this, that you guys have experience in outdoors and natures, but what does the learning curve look like for knowing what each little knickknack is that you sell?
Yeah, for one, I could definitely say I am not a gearhead. He is. And so I've had to become one, just in order to buy all this gear. And yeah, it's just been basically every day we do gear research and, read reviews and see what products are good and what's not. And, but yeah, it's been a big learning curve. And then just running a business, of course, all the behind the scenes that nobody talks about and wants to know about, but there's a lot of details to work out. And he takes over the bookkeeping part of it. And we both do the buying for the store.
Why did you get the worst end of that bargain? I think to me, there are blessings in our entire planet, and accountants or bookkeepers are huge parts of that. I think I might have missed that part of my brain formation in the day. So you said,
that's really the part that you can do kind of outside of the normal hours, which is what I have available. So kind of shoot into it.
Yeah. You said something earlier, Heather, or maybe I'm not sure which one of you said it, but there's a very good statement in that there's the business part of it, and then there is that emotional and it's a real emotional side of owning a business. It becomes, if not a spouse, it becomes a baby, and you're growing this business. And I have to say, if you landed in the perfect community for this, because we love a Hyperspud to start with, but then new owners, we are so happy to see that kind of, we love our babies just like you do. So I think it's a good spot to be,
Mhm.
honestly.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you're in the Northwest. Hallelujah.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, we're really thankful that we bought an existing business that has such a history, and that we're not starting something new. And we bought this place with a decent amount of inventory, and then we've been building it up through the past months. And we're just really happy about the history. And I've had so many people come in here and just say that they saw it, papered up in, February, March, April, and they're just so happy that it didn't go out of business and that, someone's continuing the legacy. And so it's really nice to hear that.
Yep. Our
Yeah.
customers are basically everything that we need.
And
They're
most of them
happy
are,
that we're here.
like 99% of them are just really supportive and encouraging. And I mean, I never want to let them down, but obviously sometimes things happen and I do let them down, but they're usually very, very understanding.
definitely. So let's run a scenario here. I am considering buying Book People,
Mhm.
which I totally would do. What would you tell me? What would you tell me? So I'm new. I have no history. I've been working as an economic development person for 6 years. I have no idea. Tell me, what's your message? What's the secret sauce that you found with Hyperspud?
So I think what helped us a lot was doing kind of research into more of the business side, because we knew from the start that would be the part that we knew the least about. So we wanted to have kind of as solid of a base of that as we could going in. So we looked at, forming an LLC, running a business. What do we need to do for the state, for taxes and everything? How to do bookkeeping at all.
And they have a really good business center down in Lewiston. And so we met with the people down there,
The
and that's
SBDC.
free. You can meet with them and have all kinds of questions answered. So that was really helpful.
Yeah. And, maybe just developing a list of resources that we can turn to when we have questions, even if we don't end up having questions there, we at least, it's kind of like something in your back pocket. If you run into a question, you've got this person or that person that you can ask. So just being able to have those resources and know that they're available is, a pretty good, a good backup.
Yeah. Boy, that SBDC is a hidden gem.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. We've done,
Yeah.
a few webinars from them for sure. And just, they really teach you from an aspect of, you don't know this and I'm going to get you to know this, which is great. They're not super advanced and they're not using jargon or anything. It's really for the small business.
Yeah. Jargon
That is not
in QuickBooks, jargon in the accounting part is the scariest for me. Because they do. And credits and debits blew me out of the water the first time I heard those words. So
yeah.
So tell us where
tell
you
us
are.
how to find.
Right on, Alicia.
Good
Go
thinking,
ahead.
Gina. Tell us how to find you, social media and where you're at and website.
Facebook.
Yeah, so we're at 402 South Main Street, and we're right next to the water fountains in downtown Moscow by Friendship Square. And we do have a website. It needs a bit of work, but we have a website. It's just hyperspud.com. And we are on Facebook and Instagram. We're pretty active on both of those. And we're just at Hyperspud Sports on Instagram, and I believe Hyperspud on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique name, so easy to find.
Do you know where Hyperspud came from?
We know rumors, yeah.
So I talked to someone the other day who knew John really well, and he did a ton of sports. He was quite the Renaissance man, but he was really into rock climbing. And with rock climbing and with a lot of other sports, but specifically rock climbing, you have to be totally hyper focused on what you're doing, and you have to take everything else out of your mind and focus on the next handhold or foothold. And so I think that's kind of where the hyper part of it came from. Just that you have to be hyper focused in the activity, that you're doing the outdoor activity and take away all the outside, commotion out of your brain, which is, I think, a part of the reason a lot of people go outdoors is just to, take away civilization and all the hustle and bustle and worry in our lives and just focus on what's important. And the spud part, he was definitely a gardener and grew potatoes, but I think more than anything, it was the fact that he wanted something Idaho themed, and Idaho's the potato state and known for growing potatoes, although they're mostly in southern Idaho. But I think that's where the name came from.
That's
Interesting.
funny.
Good question.
That's awesome.
And we love the name. When we talk to people that are far away on the phone, they're like, "What did you say?" But they love it too.
Yeah, never even considered changing it.
No.
Awesome. You guys, how fun. I'm coming in. If not today you're open. If not today, tomorrow, but I'm anxious to meet you in person. And I completely, well, both of us, Alicia too, but I won't speak for her, appreciate your time and appreciate the fact that you took time away from your busy personal time to come in and visit with us. And again, we are so glad to have you in Latah County. This is the joy of my job. This is Latah 411. I'm Gina.
I'm Alicia.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Really